Actually, I don't know if you like the movies, but all of a sudden, you know, Hollywood in the spotlight in regards to Donald Trump. We saw Meryl Streep just go after the president-elect as she was accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and we looked around the room and we saw the entire crowd in this rapt, sort of stunned silence. I want to play a little bit more of what she had to say when she was criticizing Donald Trump for his comments about the press. Let's watch.
So Hollywood is crawling with outsiders and foreigners. And if we kick them all out, you'll have nothing to watch but football and mixed martial arts, which are not the arts.
Let's get to that specifically in a moment, but first, Eugene, your general reaction to what you saw.
Well, first of all, I wasn't surprised. As Donald Trump himself noted, Meryl Streep's a huge Hillary Clinton fan. As the camera scanned the audience, we saw people that have spoken out critically of Donald Trump throughout the campaign. And so I was not shocked by the words, nor was I shocked that they used this event to share these thoughts. It's not uncommon for them to do that.
It's sort of this debate that has played out in front of all of us, what is considered by many or by some to be the liberal elite, you know, at war with Donald Trump directly. It was interesting to hear that bit from Meryl Streep about football and mixed martial arts, right? Because even while that may be one area where people in the middle of the country who may like movies and may like Meryl Streep will be, well, wait a second, you know, I'm a football fan. I like mixed martial arts. Say what you want about Donald Trump and his comments about New York Times reporters, but why are you going after me?
Right. I don't think that was her point, even though I'm pretty sure that's how it will be received. She was saying that if there's no Hollywood, we'll only have sports. And the follow-up line was, and those aren't the arts. I think she respects and understands that the world works better when there's sports and the arts, and when both of those communities have people from all aspects of the American society in them.
So Donald Trump did comment on this in New York Times. So far, he hasn't said anything on Twitter, though we are watching that very carefully. Let's take a little bit more of a look at the Golden Globes right now and watch what Jimmy Fallon had to say.
This is the Golden Globes, one of the few places left where America still honors the popular vote. But Manchester by the Sea is nominated for 5 awards. You might remember Manchester by the Sea for being the only thing from 2016 that was more depressing than 2016. The film Florence Foster Jenkins is nominated. There you go. The character has been dubbed the world's worst opera singer. And even she turned down performing at Donald Trump's inauguration. It's tough to book. It's tough to book. As always, the ballots for tonight's Golden Globes were carefully tabulated by the accounting firm of Ernst & Young and Putin.
So, what was interesting there about Jimmy Fallon was that he'd been criticized during the election season for being too friendly to Donald Trump. You know, he tousled Donald Trump's hair there, but you could see him even there, you know, Hollywood versus Donald Trump on display last night. We saw Meryl Streep deliver that impassioned rebuke of President-elect Donald Trump, and we saw the audience there at the Golden Globes sit sort of, you know, in silence, just complete silence with Meryl Streep. I don't know what's in the mind of every one of the people in that audience right there, but we do know that in general, Hollywood does not support this president-elect.
Yes, very much so. I remember watching the speech, and I was seeing the cameras pan the audience, and I saw it focus on faces, many of which I have seen speak out against Donald Trump during the campaign. So if I could guess what they were thinking, they were probably affirming her message and her concerns.
I want to play one more bit of what Meryl Streep said, because I think it gets to the divide that is in this country between what many see as, you know, the coastal liberal elites and then, you know, the rest of the country. This is what Meryl Streep said when she was talking about sort of the cultural diversity in Hollywood and the importance of protecting it. Watch.
So Hollywood is crawling with outsiders and foreigners. And if we kick them all out, you'll have nothing to watch but football and mixed martial arts, which are not the arts.
Now, mixed martial arts and football may not be the arts, as Meryl Streep says, but they're very, very popular. And I will also note, you know, that when you look at the Golden Globes, films like Manchester by the Sea, La La Land, they're not the movies that people went and saw this year, or were the big grossing films, right? I mean, Rogue One was the highest grossing film. Other films, you know, brought in more money. There is a cultural divide here.
There is a cultural divide, and many people who only value football and the martial arts will hear some rejection in that statement. But I think her statement was saying that we need a country that values both. We need a country that values the sports world. We need a country that values the arts and the diversity in all of them. And we would need a leader who supports all of the people in those.
All right, this week.